This video is about getting started on Schoology. When you first log into your Schoology account, it'll bring you automatically to this screen, which is the recent activity screen. You can see over here that recent activity is highlighted, and at the top of the screen it says recent activity. If you ever need to get back to this screen from wherever you've gone in Schoology, just click the home button. On this video, we're going to focus mostly on getting your Schoology account set up. So over on the right-hand side of the screen, you should see your name. In this case, it says sample teacher because this is an account that was set up for sample teachers to see how this works. You click on sample teacher, in your case, your name. You'll come to a screen that looks like this. On this screen, the first thing I'd like you to do, if you haven't already, is put in a headshot of yourself. Click on Edit Picture, and then Attach Files. Now, I've already put a file on my desktop that I'd like to use as a picture. It's this photo of Mr. Bean. If you don't know who Mr. Bean is, you need to find out soon. So I click on that. It's going to attach that file and automatically put it into the left-hand side over here of my screen. Now, you can see this little thumbnail here, which is used every so often in Schoology, is a little bit cut off. So I want to edit that by moving this box bigger and down a little bit to get most of the teacher's face into that thumbnail. Then I hit crop. It'll cut it down to size, and hopefully the thumbnail will look a little bit better. If you get this little broken picture, it'll mean that your thumbnail was edited in a way that it's not interpreting the data correctly. Sometimes changing the type of file will help with that. Sometimes changing the shape or the size of the thumbnail will help. So I'm just going to play a little bit here to see if that helps. Still not. So what I would suggest is if you haven't been able to get your thumbnail to go in there correctly, if it's not showing up here, then change the type of file that that photo is in. I'm glad this happened so that you can see that that is a possibility. If you don't like your photo for some reason, you can remove your photo and try a different one. So this is done. I'm going to close this up. You can see now I have my picture over here. I'm automatically on default into my updates page here. You can see it's highlighted in white. If you would want to post an update to your courses or to the people you have connections with on Schoology, this is where you would write your update. You can add a file or a link to a file to that update, a link to a website, a resource that you have saved on Schoology, audio or video recording, or a poll. Down here below under info is where you'll see your email address if you click on that. So if you ever want to change your email address within Schoology, that's where you would do it. And also there's an option to make your own blog right here in Schoology. We already added our photo over here on the right side. So I want to also show you the option to write a short bio. So this is if people on Schoology are interested in connecting with you, and maybe they're from a different school and they're just looking for another math teacher, for example. You're going to indicate subjects you teach, grades you teach, all of this information so that people have a better idea of who you are, and then hit Save Changes when you're done. There's also information on interests and activities, and if you want to add additional contact information, such as a phone number or other things like that, you could do that. Again, this is mostly for people outside of Schoology to get a hold of you. Or not outside of Schoology, outside of the school to get a hold of you. So Schoology users that aren't necessarily in the school. Okay, so that takes care of everything under Sample Teacher. The other thing I want to show you are some options on this drop-down box. So we have notifications, account settings, and privacy that I'd like to go into in a little bit of detail here. I'm going to start with notifications. Notifications allow you to get an email whenever something changes in a course or a group or within the school. So the way you could read this is on this side tells me if something has changed. So if a course update has been posted, so if you are a member of a course and there's some sort of update that happens in that course, do you want to know via email if that update has happened. If so, you leave it on. If you don't want an email when a course update is posted, turn it off. If you have multiple courses that you participate in and you want one on and one off, hit that custom button and it will give you that option. You can see there are a bunch of these that are on that you might not want on. So take some time to go through these and decide when you want to get an email about a change to a course. Over here you can see there's also an option to get text message updates. So if that's something you want to look into, you can choose that as well. Other updates that you might want to get through email or text message is through a group that you belong to, which is covered in a different video. Updates from the school, and then personal updates such as private messages from students or other teachers. Do you want an email when a student sends you a message on Schoology? This one I like to have on because I want to know right away if that student needs help, but that's up to you. When you're all done, hit Save Changes. Account Settings is the next tab over. And you can see if we go back to that drop down, it's also the next setting down. So I'm going to go right into Account Settings next. And this gives you some different options to change on your account. You can put a preferred first name, an alternate email, and you can also connect your account to various other social media outlets such as Facebook, Twitter, or Google. So if you have a post that you make in Schoology and you also want to make it on your class Facebook page, you could do that in one click. You can sync your calendars together. So if you're using an Outlook calendar, for example, and you want it to work with your Schoology calendar, you can do that. And then the bottom options are probably things that we'll never use, but if you have questions about those, certainly ask. Privacy settings. So the school has set the lowest level of privacy to the school level, and that's why all of these are checked. You cannot open up the privacy to Schoology users at this point, and we cannot open up the privacy to everybody on the web at this point. If you decide you would like to have the privacy opened up a little bit more, we can do that, but we decided to start with the basic privacy settings. If you want to make the privacy a little bit more loose, and include those people you've made connections with, you could do that. Or sorry, a little bit more tight and only make the people that you've made connections with, you can do that. Or if you want to make it even tighter and have those settings, whatever they might be, shared with no one, you can do that as well. So maybe you don't want your profile shared with anybody else. So you would click no one. Maybe you want your blog shared with only your connections. You could click that. Maybe the messaging you want to be able to share it with the entire school, so you keep that. When you're done, hit Save Changes, and you'll be good to go. Anything that you delete out of Schoology is going to show up in this recycle bin, just like it would on your desktop. So you can always find things there. All right, back to this drop down. So we just did notifications, account settings, privacy, and the recycle bin. The last thing I'm going to go through is the Help Center. So if you need to search a topic for helping within Schoology, this help guide will do that for you. Conversation about questions and ideas is the second option, and then news and updates is the third option. If you'd like to send Roseanne or myself a message directly in Schoology, you can link to us there as well.